I got my badass jacket on today because we are going to be talking about a badass topic. Kind of just look like Elvis, like a young boy trying to pretend to be Elvis. Today we are talking about a lot of artists and starting artists' biggest fear. And a lot of humans' biggest fear, actually. Today we are talking about none other than rejection and criticism. Specifically, we're talking about a fear of rejection and criticism and how that holds us back. It keeps you from doing your best work. I used to, anytime I got criticism, I would cry or get angry or deny it, and then I never show my stuff to that person ever again. This is not the most helpful attitude. Now, I really love getting feedback, even if it's critical feedback, even if somebody criticizes what I'm doing. Most of the time, I love it. Because it means that my work is only going to get better. It is a necessary part of being a professional artist. You need to be able to accept and make the most out of rejection and criticism. So how do we do that? It's not just a mindset shift. You can't just magically not care about it. It's a muscle. You have to get used to it. You have to get repeatedly punched in the face to where you don't care anymore. No, just kidding. It's not that bad. But it is a muscle and you have to work it out in order to be able to do it well. So here's how we work out that rejection and criticism muscle so we're no longer scared. Or so we're much less scared. The first thing we're going to do actually has nothing at all to do with your work. We're going to work on giving feedback to other people. Now, how does this help you get better at getting rejections or criticism from people? Well, you'll see that feedback and even criticism comes from a helpful place. If you are giving feedback to people and it's from a place of loving the work and wanting to help improve it, then you'll know that that's where it's coming from when people direct it at you. And that's the first step to having a better relationship with criticism and feedback. Now, don't give criticism or feedback if it's not asked for. If they haven't asked for it, don't give your 2 cents. Here's how you can find opportunities in order to give people feedback. There's a lot of creative hashtags on Instagram or Twitter that you can look through where people share their work. TikTok is another good place for this. So follow creative hashtags just like hashtag creative, hashtag create every day, hashtag artist support, hashtag artists of Instagram. All of these things are hashtags where people will post their work and they will ask for your feedback and criticism. So make sure you go into it from a good place. You're only giving feedback when people are asking for it. And note how you feel when you give it. And know that that's the same place that other people are coming from when they give you criticism. It'll make the whole thing feel a lot less scary and a lot more like a collaborative effort rather than somebody just pointing out what's wrong with your work. The second thing, you've got to do it. I say it a lot. This is the second thing to have a better relationship with rejection and criticism. Take an improv class, specifically an improv class, not just any class, an improv class, because improv focuses on failure and how failure is fun and how you don't make good art without the prospect of failure. You can't do improv without knowing that you could absolutely bomb or do something totally not funny. But once you embrace that failure, suddenly everything is fun and everything is funny. So take an improv class. There's lots of good options online. I recommend a school like the Groundlings. Yeah, I like the Groundlings. I think that they're fun. They can be kind of stressful though at the higher levels. I hear UCB is a little less stress to get through because they don't have a grading system. Groundlings are pass fail. I'll do a video at some point giving more of a review of each of the improv schools. But take an improv class. Lots of cool options online. Even better if you're no longer in a quarantined area and you could safely do it in person. The third thing that you're gonna do to get a better relationship with feedback and criticism is to start a blog around a specific topic and then get someone to agree to regularly read it and give you feedback. It's just writing the blog is not gonna help you because just writing a blog and putting it out in the world, it's not gonna have much of an impact. You actually need someone who's reading it continuously and giving you that feedback. Now, the reason that we do a blog is because you are putting it out there. You're putting yourself out there. You're putting your thoughts. This blog can be about anything. Try to pick a specific topic that you're knowledgeable about. But the blog can be about anything. So you are putting yourself out there, but it's not your primary work. As an artist, your primary passion is probably not blogging. If it is blogging, good. This will be even more helpful for you, but it's probably not blogging. And you're also forcing yourself to work on a schedule. So every week or every other week, post something, have that person review it and give you feedback, then incorporate that feedback when you write later articles. Remember, criticism and rejection are muscles. We get more used to them and we build up resilience as we deal with more of it. So if every week you're having somebody give you feedback on your writing or whatever you're posting on the blog, you could also do a vlog, whichever one is the most fun and works best for you. But if you're having somebody giving you that criticism every week, you're getting more and more used to criticism, but on something that you're not necessarily totally emotionally invested in. So it's an easier way to build that criticism muscle. The fourth thing we're going to do to really build that resilience to criticism and rejection is we're going to do something that we're bad at. Something that you're really bad at. You know you're not good at it, but you're going to do it because it's fun and we're having adventures. It's time for adventures. All right, so whatever is not your main thing that you're super worried about, but do more things just because they're fun and not because you're good at it. This is important for art in general. Follow the fun, not just what you think is going to be impressive or is going to make people go, wow. Follow the fun. But specifically to build that criticism and rejection muscle and build our resilience, do some art in some form that you're not good at. For me, I cannot draw realistic pictures, but I like to draw and I love to paint. So I often will just sit down and make a nice little painting. And it's fun, and it feels good, and it reminds me that art is about creation and not necessarily the product. Also, I'm not a very good singer, but I like to sing at my boyfriend because he then is like, are you even singing a song? And I'm like, yes, and I'm doing it great. Basically, annoy your friends and family and remember how fun it is to annoy them. The fifth thing we're going to do now, we've done all these other things to build up our resilience, but now we've just got to get feedback on our primary project or whatever it is that we're so scared of moving forward on. So whatever is your thing, I'm a writer, so for this I would finish a short story, say, or just finish some type of project. If you're a musician, finish a song. If you're a poet, write a darn poem. I don't really need to give a lot of examples of this. I think you understand what I'm talking about here. Finish a project, and then we're gonna go solicit some feedback. So the best way to do this that I have seen is you're going to take your project and you're going to give it to 3 different people. Now these 3 different people are going to be at varying levels of knowledge about whatever it is you did. So the first person is going to be a total layman. This is just somebody who you know and you respect their opinion, but they're not really well knowledgeable about whatever it is. So if I wrote a short story and I wanted to pick this person, I would pick someone I know who is not a writer or hasn't studied English. I would give it to that person. The next person is going to be a peer. So somebody who you respect and who you think is about at your level in terms of whatever this is. So I would pick somebody else, maybe from a writing group or just one of my friends who I know is also a writer, and I would give it to them. And then you're going to pick somebody who you think is a role model, someone who you think is really successful and good at and has made it far in whatever it is that you're trying to do. So for me, that I would pick either somebody who teaches English, a professor, or somebody who's been published, has published short stories. I would try to find that person in my network and let them look at it. Just somebody who's been doing it longer than I have. So now that I have those 3 people, I have a role model, a peer, and a lay person. I'm going to give them the finished project and I'm going to solicit feedback. I'm going to do it in a very specific way. And this helps it not only lead them into giving me the most helpful feedback, but it also keeps everything focused on happiness and not in a way that's going to hurt my feelings or anything like that. For when I'm just looking for how can I improve this work. I've accepted it's not perfect. It is a first draft. I just want feedback so that I can improve it on the next draft. So I'm going to ask them 2 questions. 1, what if this brings you joy or whatever the intended emotion is? Say my short story is a horror story, I'm gonna ask what was the scariest thing about this story, or what horrified you the most of this story, because that's the emotion I'm trying to get. But if it's a rom-com, I'm gonna ask what about this brought you joy. So that's my first question. The second question is, what confused you or took you out of the world? Which is kind of basically saying, what did you not like, or what didn't bring you joy? That's the other way I word it sometimes. What didn't bring you joy? That way I know the parts that were the low parts. So it's not saying, what was good and what was bad, because those are heavy value judgments. We don't really like hearing somebody saying, oh, I thought the beginning was good, but the ending is bad. It feels a lot better to hear somebody say, oh, I was so scared at the beginning, it pulled me in right away and I couldn't wait to keep reading, but then I got really confused at the end. I didn't understand what was happening. It focuses on feelings rather than value judgments, and that can make it a lot nicer and even more helpful because it's more specific. Because now I know the ending is confusing. That's what's not good about it. That's what I need to fix. The ending confused my reader. So those are the two questions I like to ask. What brought you joy, and what didn't bring joy or confused you? And that keeps the focus on joy and just makes all of us happier throughout the whole process. So give everybody the work, give them a day or a week or however long they need to actually look at it and read it over carefully, and then ask them to send you their first thoughts, and then meet with them one at a time. You could try meeting with all of them at once, but I find it easier to ask people their separate opinions separately so that they're not influencing each other and there's not like a weird group dynamic thing going on. So just meet with each person, take notes or record what they say if they're okay with that. Just take it as something that you could totally do to improve your work. It's advice, it's free advice. To make your work better. If there's something somebody says and you don't like it or you don't agree with it, then okay, then maybe you don't do it. If it goes against what you were trying to do or you just don't think it'll work, it's your work. Do what you want with it. If all three of the people you talk to, though, say like the ending was confusing and they didn't like it, you probably need to rework the ending. So if all three of the people agree, or even 2 out of 3 people agree on something, listen to them. But, ultimately it's your work. It's up to you what you want to include or not include in the next draft. But take everybody's advice to heart when you go in to edit. And I found this structure keeps everything focused on joy, and I learn a lot when I do this with people, and they appreciate being asked. People love being asked for their opinion. And this is a pretty low-stress way and fun way to get other people's input. So the last thing that we are going to do, this is step number 6 on our journey to become resilient about rejection. We're going to submit something. Maybe it's not done yet. Well, don't submit something that's not done yet. But you probably don't feel like it's perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. But once you've edited and you've looked at it and you're like, okay, I put a lot of work into this, submit something. All the better if you're pretty sure it's going to get rejected, because remember, we are working out our rejection muscle. Send it out into the world, submit it to a literary magazine, submit it to a short film festival, send the scene you filmed to an agent. Submit your stuff places, a ton of places, as many as you can stomach, and then when you get that rejection, celebrate. Turn it into a party. Pop some champagne. Have a Zoom chat with your friends where you celebrate. You're on your way. You're being a real artist. Criticism and rejection are necessary parts of being a professional artist. So every single no, every rejection that you ever get gets you one step closer to that big yes. So submit it everywhere, spray and pray, and get used to those rejection emails or not hearing anything back at all, because that is the mark of a true artist. I hope you enjoy getting criticized and rejected after this video. Follow these steps in order. It will really help you have a better relationship with criticism and rejection. Like I said, I used to cry every time somebody said anything about my writing, and now I love it. I love feedback. It just makes everything so much better and makes it so much more fun and collaborative. If you still feel like this fear or something else is holding you back from creating as much as you would like, we have a guide, the 21 creativity killers and how to beat them. You can get the link below. I really think whatever is holding you back from creating and feeling fulfilled with your creative self, it is in this guide. So go ahead and download it, check it out, follow the steps. There's even more things that will help you get over the fear of rejection and just feel like a real artist. So you are doing awesome, and I'm really excited to hear how these steps work for you. So feel free to comment below or, shoot us a message on Facebook. And most importantly, let's go make stuff. Elvis has left the building. Whoosh! I can't even get all the way off screen. This was not as cool of an exit as I hoped.